Hey everybody, it is Nicola here from Conscious Crypto Traders. In just a moment, I'm going to introduce you to a really special guest. But hey, thanks, Boss Baby, for telling people to like. We are a new channel and we're doing phenomenally well, and your help is most appreciated. Hi there to Michael and Kelly as well. Love for you to introduce yourself as you come in through the chat. We today are going to be looking at, obviously, technical analysis for Bitcoin after we've had that bit of a correction. Where are we going? Yesterday, I promised that I would do a Fibonacci level. That's what all these lines are, to see where we might top out in the market. And I'm joined with a very, very special guest who's one of the speakers at our event coming up this weekend, the Conscious Crypto event. You need to get your ticket if you haven't got it already. Cian, say hi. Cian Kenshin from Mind Hacker.
Hey guys, Cian Kenshin here. I'm not your typical crypto trading enterprising person. I'm more of a conscious, emotional mindset coach who helps people overcome problems with trading, problems with business, problems with relationships, because let's be honest, all of these things are related because it's you.
Yeah, and you teach in the crypto space as well too, right?
I do. Yeah. I've been in the investment space since 2001 when I started a high frequency trading bot.
Awesome. Yeah.
Before there was the name HFT. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like me. You've come from the traditional finance industry, stock market, and investing, and you're now moving into crypto. So Sienna's going to share with us a really good tip for mindset and meditation, as well as talk a little bit about his particular offering and masterclass during the 3-day event coming up starting Friday. So get your tickets today if you haven't already. Before we look at Bitcoin, I just want to go over to the rainbow chart because there's still that FUD that we're going down into the abyss, and we're going into the bear market. And if you have a look at this rainbow chart, which has a look at the trajectory of the price of Bitcoin from one halving to another, and when we get up into the orange and red zones, we're starting to get into the area that people would normally start scaling out of, because we're getting into crazy town, we're getting into euphoria. And at the moment, we're actually down here in the yellow, which is hold on for dear life. Hold on to your Bitcoin for dear life. We're just above the accumulation phase where it's still cheap to get Bitcoin. But we're heading up, like we've turned up, and we're coming into this orange area here, which is a bubble. The next one is where people start FOMOing in, and it pushes the price up, as we saw in the last halving. And then when we start getting into these red zones here, this is when you want to start scaling out, because it can get crazy. And I just want to give you one tip here. You're never going to call the top, right? So the best time to start scaling out is as we're going up and then as we're coming down, because often there's a lot of selling and a lot of activity when we get to the top. And what happens is that many exchanges jam up and they get locked up. And then, 24 hours later, when the price is plummeted, you get to go onto the platform and finally sell your Bitcoin. And of course, the price is considerably lower. So we're going to be talking about that kind of exit strategy on the weekend as well at the Conscious Crypto event, because you need to know how to get around all of those really perilous things that have happened that have made people lose most of their portfolio when we started coming crashing down. So the bottom line is we haven't had our market top for Bitcoin yet. So I'm acting naively under the assumption, is that okay to act naively under the assumption, Cian, that we've still got further to go in the price of Bitcoin, yeah?
Well, it depends if that's grounded in an emotion or in your analysis.
Yes, so he's going to be talking about that in a moment. It's grounded in my analysis, but there's also a significant amount of emotion that I'm attached to.
There's definitely some hope in there, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of hopium in there. Okay, cool, guys. Yeah. Let's have a look at where we are, and then I'll go over the Fibonacci levels to see where we could top out. in the market. But at the moment, if we have a look on the daily, this is my other chart. Yesterday, remember I showed you these resistance bands. We're in an ascending wedge, which breaks to the downside more often than the upside. But we're in a bull pennant, which we've broken out of, and we've just come down to retest. So we're in a bullish pattern inside a bearish pattern. So if we go up into the 1 hour to look at where we're at, here's the straight line of the pennant there. Here's the ascending support. And we've just got quite heavily rejected off of the support line at around 55,600. And now we're sitting on the support line of the rising channel. So now the question is, in the next hour, if we turn green and we head up, then we could be going back up into the top of the channel. And then we could be coming into fulfilling these different bull patterns within the bear pattern. So this might not be the moment that we drop down. So we're looking at targets like 57,721. We're looking at 63,954 as the first two targets to the upside. So we've had a couple of head and shoulders here, and we've met those targets now beautifully. And now we're looking for the next hour. Are we going to get a bounce? Actually, for the next half hour, because in half an hour, the new candle will form. So let's have a look at Ichimoku and see if that can tell us where we're going. So Ichimoku is still pretty green. So are we going to go lower? Well, Ichimoku is showing that we're green. So it's possible that all we've done is come back down here to retest. So we need to wait for an hour to get into a green candle. As soon as we get a green candle, 1 hour candle close, and the next candle closes, starts green above there, and Ichimoku on the 15-minute is still looking green, that would be a really good position to enter along. However, this is what you've got to watch out for on the 15-minute. Right, we might go up and then come back down again a little bit. So just watch that and look for volume. On the CM Williams VIX, which includes the Bollinger Bands, it is showing that we're ready for an upturn. We've already got it here. So it's a waiting game within the next hour and a half, really, if you are not already in a long. And if you are, you just want to monitor a break to the downside. If we do that, there is a potential that we do come back down to 49,748. And even down here to 48,988, or anywhere in these resistance bands here. All of those support levels we went over, they're still the same from Monday and also last week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We systematically went through every single one of the support levels. So at this stage, we're waiting for a long, and if you're in one, just watch this. Watch what's going on here. We're going to be monitoring this on a moment by moment basis as much as we can in the Discord server. So the Discord server link is below if you want to join that and join our daily technical analysis there. But first, Cian, I want to turn it over to you, because at the moment, if people are already in a long and we drop down here, they could be in fear, or like if they're in the negative, they could be in fear. Or if they're not in yet, they could be in FOMO, fear of missing out. So what would be a tip for you on what we need to be doing as traders to manage those emotions and manage that mindset?
Well, I'll start with the question first, just to set the context. What does FOMO and bubble have in common? And this transcends crypto. This is all trading, all industries, right? All of life. What does FOMO and bubble have in common? It's emotion, right? It's the emotion that you feel that's driving you to action.
Yeah.
Right. And now crypto for many years has been largely free of a lot of manipulation. Yes, we've had whales, but like the big boys are here now, right? Like JP Morgan and like all of these big banks, which caused the 2008 crash because they use money to lobby and change laws, and so that they can play loose and fast. Well, now they've found out that in crypto there's really no regulation yet, so they can play fast and loose as they want. And so what FOMO and bubble have in common is that an emotion's been put into you by somebody else. You've received information from somewhere, and you have to look at like, well, where am I getting my information from? Right? These large organizations know how to push the herd around. That's why there are cycles, right? They know how to push people around, and they have industry mouthpieces. They have content mills. They have like blog writers. They have people on TV. Trolls, like all sorts, like they have so much money to create content that you couldn't possibly avoid it, and all of this content's designed to create a sentiment in the herd that they can predict, because they're creating the sentiment. Yeah, exactly. So they can predict the result of the herd. Now, okay, so if we don't want to be part of the herd, we've got the contrarians who's like, buy when everyone's selling, sell when everyone's buying, but you're still being controlled at that point, right? And you can still get caught. So, but that was a step in the right direction. And this goes back to mindfulness and mindset and all of the things that I teach to help business owners like get their businesses on like singing and on fire, help them transform their relationships, and help traders like get out of this like ping pong match that they're playing with the big boys.
Yeah.
Right. Did you want to say something?
No, I'll let you finish.
Yeah. And the reason that it's the same in each one of these spaces is because it's always you. Right? You are the same, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're in business, whether you're in crypto trading, it's you. And you are being governed by your emotions, by subconscious patterns of behavior. So the way that we train people in this is in mindfulness and mindset and meditation, right? Why does meditation work to solve these problems? And it's not any meditation. It's not like, oh, I'm going to go and like, imagine myself on the beach and peace, bliss out. It's not that kind of meditation. This is like going to the gym. You're training your mind in concentration. You're training your mind like you would be lifting weights. Very specific type of meditation called shamatha. And what this does is, the first thing people do when they come to me with meditation problems is like, Cian, like I can't focus my mind. As soon as I try to like focus on my breath or a candle, it's like I'm just lost in thought, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, perfect, you're doing the work. People think that getting lost in thought is bad, and they try to control it, and they find out they can't control it, and then they give up. What's actually happening is you're, for the first time, realizing how little control you have over your own mind and how subject to the emotions and thoughts and feelings that are arising you are. And meditation just puts a spotlight on that and says, hey, okay, try and do this. Yeah, try it. Boom, you've lost. And then at some point you realize you were lost. That moment is very important. And at the conference, we'll get into why that moment's very important. But for now, let's just say that pattern of falling asleep, being caught in emotion or thoughts or feelings, and then waking up and going, what the fuck did I just do, is everywhere in your life. Yeah. Whether you're trading, whether you're fighting with your partners, whether you're trying to train a dog or your kids, it's everywhere. Yeah. That pattern is a microcosm of your entire life.
Yeah. And before we went live, you said the reason why we meditate as traders. I mean, I remember when I was working in institutions in the financial industry, all of the top executives were doing transcendental meditation at the time, right? Yeah. All of the big bankers. And so there's a lot of people going, oh man, that's a bit woo-woo for me. And I'm going, you know what, when you're at the top of this industry, all of these guys are meditating. And you said specifically the benefit of meditating was so that you had presence of mind or something like that. Can you remember what you said?
Yeah. It creates presence of mind. And the way that it does is you start to notice when you're losing it, when you're losing the thread of willpower, when you're losing the thread of consciousness, you start to notice it instead of just being subject to it. Mm-hmm. And this is important in crypto, just like we said earlier, like, is it okay if, I'm hopeful here? It's like, well, it depends if it's grounded in the system or if it's grounded in emotion.
Yeah.
Right. So in trading, we create a system so that we can hold ourselves to some sort of structure, and then we scientifically adjust the system and tune it and tweak it. But we use data to inform the way the system evolves, what technical indicators that we're using, Bollinger Bands, Fibonacci, like exponential moving averages, all this stuff. We use these and then we tweak the parameters as we get more data. What that prevents us from doing is making emotional trading. And I can tell you, like, very, very advanced traders can get caught by the fear so easily. And if you haven't been meditating, you won't notice when you're caught by the fear. You'll execute that trade that's outside of your normal system and pattern, and then you're caught in the thrall of the big boys.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's really important. I'm going to be going over a little bit of that in my Breaking Bad Habits and Breaking Bad Trading Habits in my portion of the 3-day event. But Cian, you're going to be doing a one and a bit masterclass, and you're going to be leading people through a specific mindset meditation. Yes. Is that right?
Yeah, it's not just going to be a meditation. Oh, nice experience.
Yeah.
Woohoo. It's training. I'm going to show you exactly what to look for in your own mind.
Right.
And then we're going to practice it, and we're going to talk about it so that we can ground the experience in the knowledge and join experience and knowledge together, which creates wisdom, which will transform you.
Beautiful. Awesome. So our 3-day event, guys, the Conscious Crypto event, the link is below. There's a questionnaire from somebody. I'm a beginner in crypto. How do I get started? You get started by getting educated. That's the first thing you do before you even buy crypto. Go get educated. Or actually, I would say just buy some crypto and hold it.
Find out what DCA means.
DCA, but get educated. When I moved from the stock market, even though I knew technical analysis, when I moved from the stock market over into crypto, the first thing I did was go out and get educated. I went to events, I did events online, I paid for courses and workshops so that the money that I invest in myself becomes the profit I make later, rather than the money you don't invest in yourself becomes the loss you make in the market because you don't know what you're doing. So that's the first step, and the second one is just get some crypto and hold it while you're getting educated into what to do with it and how to make money on it. And the other thing on that would be subscribe to our channel and go over to the beginners playlist. If you go over to playlist, we've got a whole section on beginners, getting started. We're constantly uploading videos there, so follow that channel, and then we're going to get right back to the TA. Thanks so much, Cian. Looking forward to the weekend, and we will see more of you there.
See you on the weekend.
Yeah, thanks
guys. Bye.
Bye. Okay, cool. So yes, while we have been talking, let's go down into the 30-minute. Yeah, and we've got the green candle on the 30-minute, but we're looking for the candle on the hourly. Now, yesterday I said that I would do the Fibonacci levels to see where we could top out in this market. And this is a noisy chart. So that's why I'm using the other one for the technical analysis. So normally not normally, because nothing's normal with Bitcoin, but it does follow patterns, right? And it rhymes and all that kind of good stuff. But what often happens previously in the markets is that the price of Bitcoin tops out at around about the 3.618 and or the next one up, which is 4.236 Fibonacci level of the third wave. Now, we're not quite sure exactly if the third wave has happened or when it's going to happen. So until that does, we don't know the exact starting point. So what I did is just do it from the bottom of the dip that we've just had. So at a minimum, we are looking at around about $150,000, maybe $120,000 to $150,000 per Bitcoin. You know, like I've talked about the possibility we could go 400% from here and go up to 360,000. We'll see. But if we go all the way up to the very top this round, it'll be 180,000. So we've got a ways to go. And at the moment, money's flowing back into Bitcoin. If you look on the daily, we've got this bull flag. I gave you the target of that in the other chart. So all that's happened with this wick is that it came down and it found support on this monthly. And last week I was talking about this all week. If we've broken out of this, it makes sense we're going to come back down to this red line, because this is on the monthly. This has been a resistance line. We've not come anywhere near it or gone above it until we broke through it. We've got the support here. So I think that we're almost well and truly clear of coming back into this pattern, and we've broken out a bit early. There is always the opportunity for us to come back down into it. But look what happened. We got very heavily rejected. Let's go into the 4 hours so you can see. We got very heavily rejected off the golden ratio, right? Didn't even touch it. Well, it depends on where your lines are. So 50,666 was the Fibonacci level, and we came all the way down, traded down, and then boom. So there's support for staying within this rising channel, which if it's a bull flag, we're going to break to the upside. And if it's just a channel that breaks to the downside more often than not, then we're going to come back down to 53,221 potentially, and then come back up again. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. We've got a little bit of a resistance here. And yeah, so that's the bigger picture on it. Let's go back down into my niche chart. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, Kelly, great. Yeah, you're exactly what I just said, right? It's like whatever you don't invest in your education, you lose in trading, because you don't know what you're doing and you don't know the timing, you don't know how to read the market. So this is the chart we were working off of yesterday. And I think that we just have to watch what's going on here in the hourly. Not much more, but let me just go over those targets again. That we've got the first bull flag on the 1 hour, 57,737 approximately. On the daily, we've got 63,888, and then of course we've got the bigger, the bigger patterns. I mean, we are heading up to the all-time high and going over it, going beyond it. But right this moment, being Tuesday, we could see a correction and go up. Bring in the Ichimoku cloud one more time. Yeah, and we'll just monitor it. But as I mentioned before, if you're not in a long already, you want to wait for that green candle above the support line, so we know that this is support. And when it closes, look to the next green candle so that we can know that it looks like we're going up. Then come back down, look for volume. We've already got the indication that we're turning around and we're going back up here on the Cian Williams VIX. When we look at the RSI, we're heading down. It just turned up, so it looks like we're either going to trade sideways or go up. So within the next hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, it looks like there could be a good position here to enter along and ride it up to those targets. Obviously, you need to do your own research and make sure you know what you're doing. Don't just take it from me, because if the market changes and I'm not around, you're not going to know what to do. But you want to head on over to our Discord server so that you can get more up-to-date technical analysis. And then if you're part of the Crypto Ninjas VIP Mastermind, link below for that if you want to learn more about it. We obviously do a lot more and we cover a lot more coins. And we actually have live mentoring sessions 4 times a week. So that's it for Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum's actually more clearly bullish, in my opinion, because we're coming down in a descending channel on the 1 hourly with 3670 as the target top of the channel, and a bull flag nicely formed inside of the channel. So often we're starting to see Bitcoin looking a bit bearish, and then Ethereum looks bullish and it drags Bitcoin up, whereas at the beginning of the market it was the other way around. So this could be another indication that we are heading up, and this bull flag pole takes us to approximately 3580. So it's on the way up to this target area here. And for those of you who are new to our channel, I'd love for you to subscribe. We do upload tutorials all the time, but what we talk about is how do you look for your entry point. So we've got lots of tutorials on that if you want to check out our playlist. But this is a bull flag. So what we would want to do is wait for a breakout above this line, because the line of the bull flag, the resistance line of the bull flag, kind of has confluence here with the line of this channel here, and this is another resistance line right here. So we want to break out bottom of a green candle above. We want to see a retest, so we go, this is a support level, and then we want to come up and right above wherever the first breakout is with the green candle bottom. We've got volume, RSIs towards the middle or the bottom with room to go up to the top, starting to turn around and come up to the top. That's when you enter your long, and then the target obviously is 3670, and then your stop losses are basically going to be where your risk tolerance level is, right? You might want to do it at the where the last low was, because if we come below here, we're creating a lower low. But if you don't like the idea of losing all of that Ethereum, right, you would put a shorter stop loss at 2%, 5%, and run the risk of getting stopped out. We've also got tutorials on stop losses, so look out for that as well too, because there's lots of theories on where to put your stop losses, and it's going to be a personal preference. Okay, so we do have a bit of resistance here in the Ichimoku cloud, so we could continue to trade sideways, and whenever we're continuing to trade sideways with a red Ichimoku cloud on the 1 hour, we do run the risk of coming back down. So we could come back down to 34,000 if we do, and then we get a bounce off of here. That is also a nice entry point for a long if all of the other indicators are showing that we've got support for that. It's risky though, I just have to let you know. So unless you're experienced, I personally wouldn't do that. Yeah, we're looking at finding our support level. This looks like it's dripping over a little bit. So there's your setup for your long. People ask me, do you short? Where's the short? When we are in such an obvious bull run, as in we are going up and up and up, right? Here is, hang on, that's the wrong one. We need to do it on the 4 hourly. Right? We're creating, we're creating higher highs and higher lows. So you can see here, this was the low. We've got a higher low here, a higher low here. Even though we came back down here, we still created a higher low. We're in a bullish pattern, and we're creating lower highs. So that's going to get squeezed to go to the upside at some level, unless law of averages says we're going to get a big dump. And at the moment, we're not seeing signs of that for Ethereum. So that is it for Ethereum. So Teresa's joining me tomorrow, where we'll do a little bit more in-depth technical analysis. So those of you who want to continue getting more information, please head on over to our Discord server. Link is below. It's Conscious Crypto if you want to look us up, and if the link isn't working for you. And then remember to get your tickets for the Conscious Crypto Traders event. It starts this Friday, 3 days of learning, masterclasses, breakout sessions where we're strategizing, helping you put your whole exit strategy together. You're going to get a little bit of mentoring and lots of insider information. So link for that is below. Otherwise, it's the Conscious Crypto event. And thanks so much for listening to us, everybody, all the way to the end. We'd love it if you like what we're saying. You love our daily technical analysis and our uploads of our tutorials. And we will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.